Bon dia, Joseph Bautista here and welcome to this crazy world. Today I want to talk to you about photography, in special about the habits you can follow to improve your photography skills. So let's do this. Recently I've been receiving a lot of good feedback about one of my photography projects that I'm working in right now, but I'm sure that my sensei from Japan, Jigen, he would roast most of my pictures and say that it's just trash. But that just means that I can keep going better and better. So today I want to talk about some of the tips I consider you should follow to improve your photography skills. But before I tell you about the tips to follow to improve your photography skills, let me tell you just one thing, and that's about Instagram. It's so you can consider this an extra tip, and it's do not trust everything you see on Instagram and don't try to imitate everything you see on Instagram. Of course, there's a lot of good quality content in Instagram and there's a lot of amazing photographers, but it's so hard to find them. And especially now that Instagram has just changed to be a more video focused platform, it gets even harder to find good photography content. So let's start. Tip number one, the 10,000 hour theory, but applied to photography. So in case you don't know this theory, it says that if you spend 10,000 hours in one thing, you're gonna become a master of that thing. But in the case of photography, I don't think it's that way. So in this case, we would talk about the 10,000 picture theory, and that can be just one word: practice. So the first thing you have to follow to improve your photography skills is to go out every day and practice and take a lot of pictures. But of course, it's not just about taking pictures, but putting some intention on what kind of pictures you're taking. So if it's street photography, nature, landscape, portrait, I mean, there's a lot of kinds of photography that you can practice. So why I improve so fast my photography skills is because I practice every day, every single day since I started. For example, I just checked, and in 2019 I took over 13,000 pictures in 1 year. That means that I was almost every day at the studio taking pictures of products, taking portraits, practicing lighting, and also I was out doing photo shootings, travel photography, street photography. So that's one thing. If you don't practice, you're never gonna be better. Next, tip number two, work on your skills. And I divide this in different aspects like technique, knowing your gear, composition, creativity, and post-production. Technique, that would be the basics of photography and the camera, like ISO, exposure, aperture, how to focus, lighting, and so on. And also, what kind of skills or what kind of techniques you need based on the photography you want to do. So if you want to do product photography, you're gonna need to know a lot about lighting and technique also, depending on what kind of photography you want to do. For example, if you want to do product photography, it's not the same as if you want to do star photography or landscape. So you need a different set of skills for different types of photography. Knowing your gear. Imagine, for example, you go to a wedding, you say to your friends you're a photographer, and they can trust you in taking pictures of the wedding. But this is how you look when you're gonna take a picture. Okay, wait, let me just so ISO. Okay, so it changes shutter speed here, and then focus here, then you take the pictures. So it doesn't look good if you don't know your gear. Composition, by that I mean the vision of photography, like how you set the things inside your picture. For example, this is really important in street photography, to be able to see what's going to happen, so you get that instant shot that is unique and it's going to be just a moment. So you need to have a lot of vision and knowing how the framing works to take better pictures. And that skill is really improved just by practicing a lot. And then when you see the results, you will start to noticing things in your photos that you probably say, I don't need this in my picture, I didn't notice this thing, I didn't see that guy on my picture, and then you start to getting better at composition and framing and in the general vision of photography. Creativity, and I think this is a skill that you can work on it, but of course there's so many natural people that it's so creative and has so many ideas, and sometimes I'm jealous of seeing some people with crazy ideas that work. But do not despair, because of course you can work on your creativity, especially product photography, commercial photography. These guys have crazy ideas, and that's also one skill that you can work in post-production. If you have a vision and you have amazing drawing skills, then when you use Photoshop, it's just magic. And that wasn't my case, but again, you can work on that skill. Programs like Lightroom, Luminar, Photoshop, and so on. Next, tip number 3, sharing your work with others. So you've been taking some photos, and now it's the time to share with others. And why is this important? Because if you don't share with others and you don't get feedback from your photos, you probably will never know what is good and what is bad in your photos. And that's why it was so important for me to share with other photographers, because we supported each other and we tried to make each other better. And that's why it was so important, the figure of Jigen Sensei, because he was so hard on us. He kept pushing us every day to make better pictures, to study more, and even like roasting us to the point that almost making us cry at some point or just give up photography forever. So that's why I think it's important to share your work, because if you don't get feedback, you don't know how you're doing, and that gives you no room to improvement. And we've come to the final tip, and that's tip number 4, which is get inspired or search for inspiration. For example, again, if you want to do product photography, what you need to do is search for product photography in magazines, TV commercials. You have to look for that kind of photography that you want to get better. If you want to take better photos on your travels, then you need to look travel documentaries, travel magazines, or you can get inspired by other photographers and you can search for them on Instagram, for example, and get inspired by them. And for that, of course, don't be shy and ask to other photographers or ask to other people around you to help you. And I would love if any of you would tag me on your photography or on Instagram, for example, so we can share our thoughts or we can exchange tips or talk about photography, because I would love to create a better community and share with all of you this photography journey. And those were my tips for improving your photography skills. So if you enjoy watching this video, please give it a like, leave me a comment or tag me in your Instagram photos. Subscribe if you haven't done it yet, and I'll see you in the next one. Fins aviat! Recently, I've been receiving a lot of feedback of one of my Recently, I've been receiving a lot of... So today I want to talk about some of the tips that I follow to improve my photography, so you can... So today I want to show you some of the tips I follow. Tip number 1. Tip number 2, work on your skills. Damn that working crap. Tip number 2, work on your skills in the how to focus. And there's so many people sharing the same kind of pictures, sharing the same spots,